It's very difficult to calculate the number of people to whom we support it, is because the question is unique people. So, for instance, we have provided over 15 million types of assistance, individual assistance, but one person can receive, different types of assistance. So we believe that Ukrainian Red Cross, we covered something around 10 million people in Ukraine, which is 1/3 of the population in Ukraine. It is important that from Ukraine there is around 7 million people that left Ukraine, which is, in Ukraine there is 35 million people, so 7 million have left outside of Ukraine. Around half of this number already came back to Ukraine, and around 3 to 4 million are staying outside of Ukraine. So we concentrating only on support of people inside of Ukraine, and the number of people affected, I would say the whole country is affected and every single person is affected. It is rather that some people have financial means or able to take care for themselves and continue working, continue having businesses, but a lot of the people do not have this support. This is the categories in which we concentrate. So we concentrate typically on the most vulnerable, so those people that don't have much to sustain their livelihoods, or those who have disabilities and families with many children. So Ukrainian Red Cross trying to concentrate on those who have been socially vulnerable as well.
¿Qué sucede en estos casos donde no pueden acceder justamente y hay gente que necesita ser asistida?
So the situation is very difficult. So there are two topics that are which we're being asked every time, and also all the movement partners in different countries are being asked all the time. This is the access to prisoners of war, and also the abducted children, the children that has been taken from the occupied territories and they're now relocated to the territory of Russia. This is a very difficult situation. So what we think is the first discussions have to be between the governments as well, Ukraine and Russian government, to facilitate the exchange. Unfortunately, it is very difficult to have an access. Yes, so it's what we know is from our partners, from the International Committee of Red Cross, that it is very difficult to get access. Sometimes they can on the occupied territory, sometimes they can get access, but it is very difficult for them, and they're being criticized a lot for this, even though we honestly believe that it might not be only the role of the Red Cross. Yes,
Claro.
It is just a global conversation, and it's a question to the system: can international humanitarian law truly work, and how does it work? Yes, can we, if the countries are signatories to IHL, international humanitarian law, what is the instrument and tool to control their work and obligations to give the access to the prisoners of war and provide all the information to the general, to other authorities, other countries as well.
Perfecto. Y en cuanto a esto que me comentabas recién del tema de los niños que los trasladaban a Rusia, ¿qué sucede con esta situación?
The situation is very difficult. What I do know is that Ukrainian government came up recently with the roadmap, a proposal to the UN and to the, let's say, other countries that can potentially influence this topic. I didn't yet read through the document fully, but there is a push, and the Ukrainian side is trying very hard to get at least information, not only to facilitate, but to get information about the children that are on the other side, Ukrainians that are now on the occupied territories or on the Russian government side. So for us, in terms of the framework, we also, or the system, because the government in Ukraine, despite of the war, is still quite strong, yes? So for us, we rely very heavy on the framework that the government has and what they introduce. So for instance, there is a big conversation on mental rehabilitation, physical rehabilitation, social rehabilitation. So we're trying to support government to facilitate the conversation to install the system. For instance, there is a very big need for physical rehabilitation now because many soldiers that are coming back from the field, they might have a missing arm or leg, or they will need a mental or social rehabilitation as well, not only physical. So we are very much reliable not only on what Red Cross can come up with, but we need general systems installed in the government, and the framework should be within the government, and we should be a part of it and complementary to such a system.